All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to another episode of the Beaufort Zone podcast. Today, we have another special guest with us. Today, we have the head coach of the Battery Creek High School football team, Coach Wilson. How you doing?
Fine, how you doing, man?
So, how was practice today? Practice going good?
A little better than yesterday.
So, y'all gearing up for the season. First game this Friday at Well Branch. How's that? What's the plan like? What's the energy for that?
Well, pretty much, we trying to do something that Battery Creek hadn't done in a long time, and that's be 1-0.
Okay. For real?
It's been a minute.
I think, you know what? And you know what's funny? I think that last 1-0 team was me. And then we went 1-9.
I don't know if I want to talk to you now.
Hey, it was funny. It was funny. We thought we had a good start to the season. But anyways, so how did y'all how did the playing Well Branch twice in the same season come about?
Well, first thing you look at your gate revenue.
Mm-hmm.
You know, first of all, Well Branch and Battery Creek gonna bring out people.
Right.
Then you look at we had to do some scheduling, and we just couldn't find anybody to put in these places, and they needed a game, we needed a game.
Right.
So therefore, we worked it out. So we said, okay, we'll go to them first, and then they come to us week 10. So week 0 is not for the trophy.
Right.
Week 10 is for the trophy.
Okay, and I think that's fair. First of all, I was upset because they split when I was in school. So going to my junior year, the halls got real empty. And they didn't let us play They didn't let us play those first 2 years. We didn't play in the regular season. But I think it's cool. First, at least for this season, I'm pretty sure y'all get it straightened out next season. But I think it's cool that y'all play a home and an away game. Yeah. Both each other, so then it's like a real fair, like, oh, y'all got lucky. Like, if somebody beats the other team 2 times, you know what I'm saying?
You know, they dominant.
Yeah, so y'all beat them 2 times. I mean, y'all beat them last year. Y'all won the Bridge Bowl. The Border Bowl last year. Y'all got the trophy in the office. And now coming in, they're ranked number 10 preseason in 2A. So is there a little bit more of a preparation or a little bit of extra?
Nah, I'll be honest with you. I tell my kids it's not who you play, it's how you play.
Right.
You know, and bottom line is we going out here to do what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I don't even read papers, so I wouldn't have known. If you wouldn't have told me that, I wouldn't knew that, and it really doesn't matter.
Right. So that's a strong point. And so how is so you coming off last year's 4-6 season, you losing the first round of the playoffs. And you got 4 losses by 20 or more. 2 of them fairly were the 2A schools, but 2 of them were in the region. So what happened in those losses? What are you guys doing as far as getting the defense together, or was it defense, or was it some miscues?
But no, I mean, I'll be honest with you. Before I came here, we were giving up 77 points. I did a little evaluation before I got here, and we were giving up basically 41.8 points a game. Mm-hmm. Some people scored 70-something points on us. And I'll be honest with you, last year, we were really, I think, defense kind of, better on defense a lot. I mean, one thing about teams I have, we're going to play defense. I just believe, if you don't score, we can't lose. But the biggest thing also, you got to have a 2-part of this thing, and we just wasn't, to the second half of the season, we wasn't an offensive team. We were being carried by the defense. I mean, one of those games you said that the Hilton had, we lost 24-3. I'll be honest with you, we talking 3 plays, we in cover 3 in my corner squats in the flats, touchdown.
Oh man.
That's 7 points. I mean, stuff like that.
Missed coverage.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 plays.
Right.
That was 21 points. I mean, they it wasn't like they just drove up and down the field. Nah, that didn't happen. Matter of fact, I had a kid with four sacks that game.
Right.
And
that should do it.
We like I said, we played well on defense, but if you don't have offense to help out, it's gonna be a rough night. And then the offense also put defense in some bad situations.
Right. So how tough has it been? I mean, you're missing some of your key guys as far as game planning for your defense, and some guys you're missing with Eddie, John, and Mon and Saren. Are those guys?
Well, I'll be honest with you, Eddie
got hurt before.
Yeah, right? Eddie played 1 game.
Right.
So we played all year without Eddie. Eddie was a good kid, very talented. And he's going to Brevard, play. Amon is going to Newberry.
Saren's at Limestone.
Sarah's at Limestone, and DeLoach is at Limestone.
Right.
So that's a good thing. All those kids you just named is going, to the next level.
Right.
So, that's a good thing. But, these kids basically helped me start the transition.
Right.
Okay. And, I was real young last year, and I'm basically young this year. I mean, I'm loaded with 2021s and 2020s kids. I have 8 seniors this year. So I mean, it's a young team, but it's it's just a process we're going through right now.
Okay, and with that process, you got a real tough start to the season. You got your well-branched preseason ranked number 10, but like I said, it's how you play them. Then you got your what I claim to be is the normal rival, which is the Beaufort High. It's 4A school, and Hilton Head is another 4A school. So you talk to you guys into going into that. What's the?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I just get upset when people say Beaufort and Battle Creek is a rival, because a rival means that it goes back and forth until we actually show up and basically earn that respect. It's one of the things that I talk to my kids about every day. It's about earning your swag. Once you get that swag, no one can take it.
Right.
So that's the process we're in now. I'll be honest with you, out of those teams, the games we lost last year, about 20, I look at it and I say, it was 2 games that we just was, I'll be honest with you, was just outmatched. And that was Beaufort was one of them, and Wade Hampton was the other one. Every other game we played, we were in. If we and if is a huge word, but if we have any offense, we neck and neck in these games. I mean, you look at Bluffton, we ran the ball for over 250 yards. And I'll be honest with you, we ran dive for 250 yards basically.
Straight up.
I mean, then just like I said, if we have any offense, we're fine. It's just like I said. So, I take those forward. What you said, it touched a nerve in me when you said that, because that's why I looked at it. But that's okay. It's in the process, and like I said, we'll be a little better this year.
And I think, and I feel you on that. How games could be sometimes, even though it might not look like it, the scoring plays could be the big difference in the game, because, like you said, y'all rushed for over 250 yards in that game, and it was the same thing back when I was in high school. I was a 100-yard running back. I had 117. And then the other running back, J-Ron, he had 100 yards too. So he had 200-yard running backs, and we still lost that game by a tremendous amount. And I think,
What year was that?
I graduated 2012, so 2011 football season.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I looked at some of that film way back there, but I wish I had you guys. I promise you, it would have been interesting. I just look, because, I mean, I look at some film, from the past, and y'all guys had some horses.
Yeah, I was number 9.
Y'all, it was some horses, and I don't see, anyway, it would have been interesting.
Yeah, it would have been interesting. I think it would have had a different spin on it. I think like with me, I think the issue with how my senior year turned out was that for one, I had ball handling issues where my fumbling wasn't good. I was fumbling a couple times, and then I got hurt for like 3 games in the middle, so I got a stinger in the middle of that. So but I think it would have turned out a little bit differently as far as my career. But that middle part of the season was still a tough stretch. That's when we played Bluffton when they were in 4A. That's when they first started going undefeated, when they first got crib. Yeah. Hilton Head was coming on, and then I think I missed Bluffton, Hilton Head.
But see,
I think it's like Cane Bay or somebody like that.
I make you laugh now. Down there, I think when Coach Singleton was down there, Hilton Head, y'all played them. I was at Calhoun County then.
Okay.
And we were 1A. We came down here. Hilton Head was ranked number 8 in 3A.
Yeah, they was doing real good.
And we spanked that.
It don't matter.
Nah, you see what I mean? And we came down and yeah, seriously, we came down here. I took about 26 kids. They dressed 75. And when we left, but you got to look at it also on that same Calhoun town. I had 7 or 8 D1 kids.
Right.
I got one that just won the Super Bowl last year, this year. Alshon Jeffries was on that team.
Oh, okay.
My kid, David Sims, he actually was B-back for Georgia Tech. I had, Auburn, Kentucky, Clemson, Virginia Tech.
So you had some ballers.
Yeah, so we went in your average 118. We came in, and that was just funny though. But and that just shows you right there. I mean, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The A means how many students you got in the school.
Right.
But they only play 11.
Yeah.
And they just felt they was gonna wear us down, and nah. And that's what I try to show my kids now. Like I said, they want us to kind of ease off of playing all the Hilton Heads, the Beaufort, and the 4A schools. And nah, I mean, I want to play them.
I do too, because I think it toughens you up.
I want to play them. I mean, and I expect to win.
Right.
I don't just play no, I expect every time we touch that field, I expect to win.
Right. And speaking on those guys that you happen to have on that Calhoun County team at the time, going into this year, who do you feel like is your impact guys or your key guys?
Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you. We went to media day, and I took 5 kids. I took my quarterback, Jordan Quinn, number 6. I took Jordan Wilson Smalls, number 10. He's at receiver. I took Brandon Binky. He's number 32. He's middle linebacker, and he kicks, and he's a pretty good kicker.
Something we never had while I was in school.
That's the thing. He's very consistent from 45 out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a weapon.
Right.
Then I brought Miles Militant, and he plays defensive end and offensive tackle for me. He's a good kid. He's number 57. And Brandon Wilson. Brandon Wilson is a junior. Out of all those kids that I named, Brandon Wilson is the junior. He was all area. He had 12 sacks last year. He's going to be a junior this year, and he's getting some looks.
So just the big one? 7?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I came out, I forgot what game it was I came out. I think it might have been the Wellbranch game. I don't know. But I remember it was a home game, and I came out, and he smacked somebody right up the middle, like on the 2-yard line in the far end zone by the scoreboard. I
think that was May River.
It was? May River?
Yeah.
It shocked me. I was like, who is that?
And I try not to be partial, because that's my son.
Right, okay.
I try not to be partial. But he's one of those kids that he works real hard for everything, And first of all, the coach's son, the first thing they're going to say, you're going to play the coach's son because he's the coach. Nah, he came in and earned his.
Right.
He's the strongest on the team right now. He's doing about 315 benching wise, 420 squat, cleaning 270.
Mm-hmm. He earned it.
He earned it.
Right.
Like I said, he's getting some looks. I mean, he's also has a state championship ring from the highest level, because he played for Dutch Fork. We came when we moved here.
Okay.
So he actually done been on that stage.
Okay.
He got that ring when he's a freshman.
Dang.
So, and then that's a 5A situation.
That's a big school.
So, and the thing about it is he's earned everything he got. And I'm, as a coach, I'm proud of him. As a dad, I'm proud of him.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom line, I think he gets a little worse than the rest of them get it. Because some of the kids like this shit, they ask, ooh. Because when I get on them, I get on them.
Right.
And the thing about it is just, I think I might be a little harder on him, because I expect he should know, more.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and going in now, you said he's one of those players that you try not to get on him too much. But is he one of those guys that you have him, as far as to rally the team? Like, who was your rally the team guy?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. I think he's one of those guys. If I had to choose 2 guys that rally the team, it would be Brandon Wilson and Jordan Quinn, the quarterback. I mean, because one thing we do when we come in 2 by 2. And them 2 usually be leading us in.
All right, and I know Jordan, because I've worked out with Jordan personally before. We've had him come out and do 7-on-7s and stuff with us, and do pickup games with us. And you guys' off season, so I've seen his talent, I've seen his arm, and I've seen his moves. You didn't think about putting him at, in the slot?
No. That's where he's gonna play the next level.
What?
That slot.
The slot? Okay. All
right. No. We know that.
Okay.
But the thing about it, he gives us the best opportunity to win with the ball in his hands.
Okay.
You see what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I know where he's going to play on the next level, and he knows that because we did a lot of camps this summer. I mean, you look at it, we went to Georgia Tech, Georgia State, South Carolina, Wake Forest, UNC Charlotte. We did 6 camps this summer, and he worked out that slot.
Yeah, I saw all the pictures that he put on the online.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So and that's the thing that I'm used to doing. I believe in sending kids to school.
Mm-hmm.
If I can't, my job is to give you opportunity. I don't want you to be stuck.
Right.
And I try to give kids opportunities. So, and this summer was the first really opportunity I had a chance to come in and work on that, getting recruited. Because, I mean, if you look at it, where I came from, Calhoun County, in 7 years, I put over 45 kids in school.
Right.
You're talking about at least, 6 SECs, 4 or 5 ACCs, Big 12, and I had 2 Under Armour All-Americans, 2 offense-defense All-Americans.
Right.
Number 2 guard in the nation, number 6 receiver in the nation.
Doing a good job right there.
So, but the thing about it, Battle Creek, it kind of reminds me of a Calhoun County because the talent-wise.
Mm-hmm.
But the only difference is, right there, Calhoun County, they knew how to win, but when I changed the culture, it wasn't just win and it's over. It's win and keep winning. That means go to the next level.
And do
That's the mindset. The mindset had to change. But here, they really don't know how to win yet. So I got to do a little bit of both. I got to, teach them how to win and get to the next level.
And what would you say is one of your things that something that you tried to instill in them to help them get that mindset?
Well, the biggest thing is having character, because I always teach them that character has a cousin called discipline. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have character, you'll never see discipline. So those cousins run together. So my job is to help develop character, which automatically will bring in discipline.
That's a good quote right there. I might need to write that down. Yeah. Make sure you save that for the make sure you save that for the end. I appreciate what you're doing. Me listening to you talking, you saying that your whole thing is that you want to send kids to school, because I had a problem back then with as far as getting film, and I think a couple of players felt that same way about getting their film and getting their stuff out there and stuff like that. It would have been a whole different help. And I see a couple of guys, because I know, like I said, I know a couple of your guys, Facebook friends or whatever. And so I seen a couple of them with the huddle highlights and stuff like that. Yeah. So it kind of helps that you're doing that. You're focused.
That's the biggest thing, man. That's my job. My job is to develop young men and give them opportunities to grow. And it ain't about kids making it to the NFL. I tell you, I have doctors, I have lawyers, I have engineers, I have teachers, I have coaches that play for me.
Right.
And I'm just as proud of them, or even more prouder than them, than my guys that made it NFL. Mm-hmm. But because, my job is to, like I said, make them good people, good providers, good citizens, good husbands, good fathers.
Right.
And that's what a coach does. If someone said, Coach, you go over, but all your seniors go to college. That wouldn't even be a choice.
Right.
I wouldn't worry about winning the game, because I would win if all my kids go to school.
That's right there. That's the focus. And so coming in from that. So you, speaking of your experiences through different schools, how many coaching stops have you had? How many?
Let me put it this way. I have coached on every level in this state. Okay. Even college. Okay. Because I started out at South Carolina State. That's where I played. Okay. Tackle. And I coached defensive line a year before I actually went out into the high school coaching. As a matter of fact, I coached 1 second rounder off that defensive line. Like I said, so I coached 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, and before I came here, I was on 5A at Irmo High School.
And so what drew you to put in for the
basically, I'll be honest with you. First, I was ready to get, and I always use this analogy. Once you move out your mama house, it's hard to move back into your mama house.
Right.
Right. So I've been out as a head coach on my own at Calhoun County, and then I left and went with one of my buddies, Coach Kennedy. He went to Sumter. We went to Sumter 1 year. Took them to the state.
Right.
We lost to Dutch Fork, but then we actually moved. He went to Irmo. Now, Irmo High School was 5 minutes from my house, so it was a good move. I was driving from Irmo to Sumter.
Right.
So it was a good move. Went there, but then I used that to say moving back into my mom's house. It's mean when I'm working for another man.
Right.
And I done been out there.
Doing it for so long.
It's hard, you know, but I always made it myself. I said, well, if I do work for someone else, it's going to be someone I can learn something from.
Right.
So, you know, I with him, but then the thing about it was time for me to get out my mama's house again. And this job came open, and I looked at it, and I saw some potential, because I always remember this. When Coach Carlos Cage took this job, he came from North. And that's why I was in Calhoun, you know, we used to play, and I know he came down, but I always remember he had a 4x1 team that was all world. They were smoking. And that right there, I knew by that it was athletes here.
Coach Cave was there the first 2 years, 3 years I was there. So I know the guys you were talking about, Ricky, Cleon, and Damien.
See, they were smoking.
Yeah.
And that always stuck in the back of my mind, you know. And one of the biggest things was, like I said, you know what? I looked into it some more, and I liked the area. And I'll be honest with you, I believe that God sends us places for a reason. And when He wanted me to come here, it was for a reason. I don't know that reason yet. You know, I just believe in missions. But my thing is this: everything fell into place. You know, and that's how you know where you're supposed to be. When you don't have no struggles and doing some things that you need to get done in this fall, this is where I need to be. You know, and it's just been a good situation for me and my family. You know, make you laugh. My wife teaches biology at Well Branch.
Oh man!
And she coaches volleyball at Well Branch.
So y'all gonna have like a house divided type of thing? Y'all understand?
No, I got her son playing for me, so it flipped the scale.
Yeah, it's kind of just her over there.
You know, but no, she gonna support her son.
Right.
That comes first, so that's why I say don't worry about that one right there. But you know, like I said, it's just been a good situation, family wise and everything. Because I'll be honest with you, me and my family have ate at the same table the first time for so many. We never. I mean, everybody's going this way. Man, we got here. I promise you, we ate so many meals at the table together. That's huge. You know, that's huge. It ain't like so much to do here in Beaufort.
It's not.
So you understand what I'm saying? So it's like I said, it's been a good family move.
And so speaking of you know, you're not wanting to go back into your mama's house, and you know, and if you do that, it's going to be somebody you can learn something from. Do you think that, you know, at some point, do you have any plans on going higher, maybe back to the next level?
Well, you know what? I'll be honest with you. It's just I told you I go on missions. You know, if that door opens, I know, you know, it'll be from God, and if it does, I'll go in. If not, I'm content where I'm at until when my mission is done. I leave Battery Creek, and I don't know what is my mission. You understand what I'm saying? So that's just what I believe. I think everything happens for a reason. So to say, would I want to be on the next level? Yes. You know, yes, I would. But, you know, am I going out seeking that? No, I'm just doing what I do.
Okay, you waiting for like if it comes to you, it's your time.
It's my time. If it don't, guess what? I'm happy coaching these young men, because the future at Battery Creek is bright. Because you know, them horses that y'all had, in this game it cycles. That thing is cycling back around. Because I looked yesterday, I had 3 D linemen, and each one of them was either 6'2" or better, by even over 225 or better, and these some big humans.
Yeah, that's some big boys.
They ninth grade.
That's crazy, because we saw that. Because like I said, I know you saw me. I came out there to look at the practice the other day, and I saw a couple of kids out there, and then I was talking to I think it's your running backs coach, and he was telling me that that most of the kids were young, and that's why when you told me that you only had 8 seniors, that's why I knew that already. And it's like, so you got enough time. You got enough time to build these guys. They can learn the chemistry together and all that.
I mean, so like I said, it's coming. That cycle. Mm-hmm. That cycle is coming back around. And I can promise you one thing: I know what to do with it.
Hey, as long as you know what to do with it, I'm ready. Hey, I'm gonna be with you. I'm gonna be right there cheering for you, man. I hope y'all get that together. And I saw y'all had the whole setup. It was a whole different look when I went out there because you guys had the whole tent set up and everything. How did that come about?
No, basically that's the new era now.
Yeah,
it's where we can actually play back that offensive series or play back that defensive series. Mm-hmm. You know, that's the cutting edge right now. I mean, if you don't have that, you're behind.
Right.
You know, where you can sit your kids down and say, look, this is what you saw. This is what we need to do. Mm-hmm. It's adjustment. So
and that'd be good too, because what that also ends is that what you have in that on demand right there, that ends a lot of fussing. Because a lot of kids, and I think that's what we had a lot of time when I was. It's a lot of fussing, and I remember.
I ain't do that.
You did it.
You did it.
Because I remember vividly one play, and I was so mad at it. A situation came up, and we didn't have a cornerback. So I was like, oh, let me play cornerback. So I was like, all right, we'll give you a shot. I was playing Hilton Head. It was homecoming. And I was playing quarterback, and it was good so far. And I think it was like in the middle of the second quarter. They called purple. And purple for us was cover 4. So we go in cover 4, and now I see one the outside receiver runs a post. So I pass him in, and then the inside receiver runs like a screen route. So I pass the post in, and I'm going down to play on the screen. The post guy, he catches it right there, exactly where the safety was supposed to be at. The safety also ran down on the screen as well. And so he came in there, and he was trying to say it was my fault. And I was like, well, we was in cover 4. That was his zone. I passed him off, and I went down to attack the screen, and he tried to put it on me as in the reason as to why that guy caught that ball in the score.
Let me ask you this question now.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you want me to.
No, go ahead.
If you in cover 4, you shouldn't have been attacking no screen anyway. You should be dropping. No, you got to rally to that. We giving up that underneath. In the 4, we giving up that underneath, and you rally to it. You understand what I'm saying? You should have been back there. Even though he caught that thing in his zone, you should have had deep 4th back there to help him out. And we all rallied to both of y'all wrong.
Right.
Because if y'all biting on either square route, you're wrong.
Well, the situation, what it was with me was that, which is fair, and this is something that I had. It's fair. I'm not gonna fuss with you because I had to learn, and I did a lot of studying this year because now I play for a semi-pro team now, and I'm not gonna say semi-pro, it's more amateur because none of us get paid. But I play for a team now, and he put that onus on me of trying to coordinate the defense or whatever. So I'm doing the best I can to try to learn and figure out the way the guys put people in position. And I learned it's a lot harder than most people think it is. And because of that situation right there, we don't got no on demand. So it's a lot of fussing, and it's a lot of adults. We don't have a coach. It's me. I'm 24, and then you got other guys that's 27, and we on the same age group. So now they don't think, they just want to fuss. So but in that situation, what happened to me, and this is how I read it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, well, he's going that way. He's supposed to be over there. I'm supposed to be here, but there's nobody down here. And I'm thinking I didn't even want to get – I'm already like 15 yards back, drop. And I'm like, bro, that's a lot of ground if I just sit right here. So I'm like, yo, I got to go at least try to, and that's why I jumped down on it.
Yeah, see, and that's what a lot of kids do is, and I try to teach my kids, you do your job. And, and sometimes you can't do the other man's job. He's got to be accountable. And so when you start doing the other man's job, then you don't neglect yours. And now, guess what? You gonna seem wrong. And you did seem wrong, didn't you?
Right. I was mad. I was mad as I don't know
You
what.
see what I'm saying? And,
right.
And that's the thing, man. And it goes back to, am I my brother's keeper? But the bottom line is, everybody got to bring something to the table. You just can't come up there with a fork and say, let's eat. What have you put on the table? And that's just a lot of things. It's just funny because that's what I talk to my kids about every day. You got to bring something to the table.
You know what? The world would be a lot of better place if everybody followed that mentality, man. It'd be a lot better place, man. So off subject, off Battery Creek. Did you hear about the kid at the University of Maryland that died?
I kind of heard about a little bit. I think yesterday one of my coaches was telling me that the guy died, but then I asked him. I said, well, don't Maryland have a lot of trainers?
Right.
And so they can't. I don't see where you can kind of put that on the coach, because you got people that's trained to make sure this doesn't happen.
Right, and that's where the issue came in at.
And then they wanted to say there was more of he was some of the comments he made to the kid or something like that. But that ain't what killed the kid.
Right.
The bottom line is the training staff, and they have a lot of them, get paid well.
Right.
To make sure these kids don't dehydrate, that and be safe.
Yeah, and that was my thing. And fairly, I think what I appreciated when I read about the story, and I happened to come across it, is that the school came out and they accepted full responsibility, so they're not trying to wiggle their way out of it or anything. They came and respected it, and they put on the training staff. I think they let go of the strength and conditioning coordinator who had them out there running the sprints. At the time, they let him go, and then they're investigating the head coach. And like I said, if he wasn't out there, I don't think saying it should have been.
Now my thing is this: if camp didn't start, he couldn't be out there.
Right.
But if camp already started, now he but still, you look at it, I think they're investigating him for more of some of the dialogue. That they heard that brought about, because I heard it was some dialogue that he was saying, he was calling the kid and and soft and and pushing the kid motivation.
Yeah.
And so now the motivation then turned in, okay, you push this kid to death. You see what I mean? And this happened in every college all over the country.
Right.
The same words, but just a guy
it's
don't
pushing,
fall out.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
It's just pushing you because you never know. Because it's pushing the kid. Because if you give up everywhere, you know what I'm saying, and you don't push a kid to, try to succeed, you know what I'm saying. And this is my thing, and this is what I told people before. I think what my issue was when I was in high school was I was content. I was one of the better players on the team, and I was content with that. I thought my time was going to come. But being one of the better players on the team don't mean nothing. There's a kid at another school who's doing better than you, and you don't know him if you ain't looking for him.
Yeah.
And so, and I think that's what that comes into is like you always got to push them. And if you want to chase your dream, there's a lot of kids here that's doing what you're doing. You got to do more.
But you know what I always tell my son? And we go to camps and whatever. I said the first thing, son, when you ever think like that, you always ask, why me? Why would that coach choose me over those kids? Why me? You ask yourself that question. It keeps you humble. It keeps you hungry, because you constantly trying to prove why me. And that's just what a lot of kids need to do, that think they're where they're at, but then you walk into a room full of athletes, the first question you ask, why me? I have to show why me. And that keeps you humble. You think about it.
Yeah, and I had D in here a couple weeks ago. And I was talking to him about, all his accolades and everything that he got, And I was like, now that you're at that level, and it's crazy because you hear about some guys getting cut. And when we say people are bad, when we're talking about the NFL level, we're talking about on the NFL level. They're better than us, but we're talking about on the NFL level.
Yeah.
And it's crazy when you get to that level, even the guys that you think are like fifth string players, fourth string players, those guys got the same kind of accolades in the high school because they were that great. And to let you know how much less people actually make it to the league, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. And on that, and what's your college team, NFL team? What you root
Well, I'm
for?
a Cowboy.
You a Cowboy? Oh man.
That's why that was so cool. I told the I said, look here, man. I said, you was all right with me, man. You were a Cowboy. You all right with me.
Man.
But then college wise, I'll be honest with you. I used to deal with so many different colleges. It's because I'll be honest with you. At Calhoun, I had the top 20 schools in the country in my phone. I have a contact for each one, a person at each one. So what I did, I got in the habit of not really picking a college team. But then one of my buddies, Graham, coached at Florida State. He coached Lattimore at South Carolina also.
Okay.
And
devastating injury. I think that was dirty, but continue.
So I kind of drifted a little ways to watch Florida State a little harder, but then I had kids play for Carolina, I had kids play for Clemson, I had kids play for Auburn. I can tell you one thing that was cool. This was cool. One Saturday, I turned on my TV. I had 5 of my kids play on national TV at that time.
That's a good feeling.
That was like a proud papa.
Yeah, that's a good feeling right there.
You know, it was 5 kids from, you know, and the thing was, 2 of them, this was happening. I was watching Carolina play. I forgot who Carolina was playing. But Alshon just scored.
Mm-hmm.
They flashed to Georgia Tech, and David was scoring against North Carolina.
Oh, man.
You know, it was like, you know, it was just cool. It was a cool deal. And, you know, because then, you know, you had that day was Alshon at South Carolina, David at Georgia Tech.
It's hard to root.
Mac at Auburn, Rump at Kentucky, and then I had Dante at Clemson. You know, and all these, they were on TV.
Yeah.
This day, you know, it was just.
It's hard to root.
It was, and so that's why I said, because I mean I went to Kentucky. You remember when Kentucky beat Carolina when they went up there, when Lattimore got hurt in that game and was out.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, one of my kids said, "Coach, my ticket's better than Alshon's." It was Dante Rump. You know, he was playing for Kentucky at the time, and he was like, "My ticket's better than his." You know, but it was just the point. I had 2 kids.
Yeah.
It's on the field at the same time for different teams, and both of them wanted to give me tickets.
That's a good feeling.
That's you know that's a cool thing. That's cool.
I would be excited about that moment if I was in that position. I was in the position of coaching. I'm seeing that I have kids all over the place doing their thing and balling and everywhere else, and then watching them grow. And I would think it would hard for me. Me personally, I don't root for a college team myself because it's just too exciting to me. It's too up and down. Well, you never know what's going to happen.
You know what? I'll be honest with you. I like college better than the NFL.
Right.
And I'll tell you why. College kids play for pride. Mm-hmm. NFL play for money. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If you really watch an NFL game, you watch technique, fundamentals go out the window. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm good. I don't have to squeeze on the trap. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I watch the Cowboys, man, I got pissed off. And it was because they were trapping our linemen. Mm-hmm. You don't supposed to get trapped on the NFL level.
You're supposed to know what you're doing.
You understand what I'm saying? And I'm like, really? Mm-hmm. But that's just example. Once they make it to that level, hey, I'm talented. I don't got to squeeze. I don't got nothing to that now.
Everybody kind of feel like they always in their bag. Yeah, everybody kind of confident, like I'm too good to do whatever.
I'm gonna tell you what was a good feeling. This was one of the things to actually have a chance to take my 2 sons to a Super Bowl, and one of the kids that played for me was playing in it, and then that kid caught the first touchdown in that Super Bowl, you know, and I mean it was just wonderful. It was a good thing because man, we were right there. I was maybe 50 yards from where he scored. Right. You know, we were sitting next to the Nick Foles people.
Oh, okay.
You know, I mean, they were like 2 seats down. I mean, you know, it was a cool deal.
So in that game watching, now do you think Malcolm Butler playing would have made a difference?
No, because Alshon drug him. See, that's why he didn't play. See, and that's the cool thing. People don't really realize.
He drug him.
Listen to me. Explain this.
Go ahead.
Do you know they did the workout that summer? Mm-hmm. The camp Eagles went to the Patriots. Mm-hmm. Alshon and Butler got into it. And because Alshon was telling me this, and it was just funny because he was telling me, you know, because he flew us up to the Philly and the Cowboys. I'm a Cowboy fan. Mm-hmm. That was New Year's Eve. That was my Christmas present. Right. So we spent so we was hanging out a little bit, and he was telling me what went on. He said, "Coach, I want to play the Patriots." You know, this was December 30th. Right. I want to play the Patriots, and I'm thinking in my mind, you be careful what you ask for. Yeah. You know? But he said, they can't hold me. Right. He said, they can't hold me. He said, the Butler guy, he got on, and then they kind of got into it a little bit. Mm-hmm. And then he was like, they was doing 7-on-7. Right. Let me get that.
Doing them in.
And he was doing them in. And I'm going to tell you something now. Belichick is a smart coach.
Right.
Butler couldn't hold him. I don't even think Butler wanted to hold him.
You think that might have been the secret as to why?
I'm trying to tell you. You telling me 2 minutes before a game?
That you decide he's not playing?
Yeah.
Hey, listen, I don't know. Everybody got speculations. I don't know what it was.
That was my I'll be honest with you. I'll be honest. Because he told me. And then I'm going to tell you something. I want you to look at that game. If you ever can look at that game again, if Gilmore isn't playing for the Patriots, there would have been at least 3 more pass interference calls if he wasn't playing for the Patriots. Patriots get subjective calls.
Right.
Because he held Alshon the whole game. After Alshon did my man, they switched him over.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and if you just watch that, you'll see what I'm talking about. Gilmore, I remember our first time Alshon matched up with Gilmore. He was at South Point. Mm-hmm. We was at a Carolina Panthers 7-on-7. Mm-hmm. We were the only 1A team. There were 4A teams up there, teams from Charlotte. But, you know, they wanted to see Alshon.
Right.
You want to see Alshon and his brother. You know, he had Panthers rooting for them. He ready right now.
Right.
You know, our first game we had to play South Point. Did him in.
Put the work.
Did him in. I mean, but so like I said, it was just interesting, man. It was a good feeling, man, because I saw his first college game, which was his first college game was NC State. Russell Wilson's first college game at NC State. Mm-hmm. That was Alshon's first college game. Because I traveled to Raleigh to see it. Because I told him, I said, if you make it, I'll be there when you come out of that tunnel.
Right.
So I went there. His last college game was at the Capital One Bowl. Mm-hmm. I was there, me and my family. And now, you know, the culminator of all, Super Bowl, I was there. So when he came out of that tunnel, man, it was like a full circle.
Yeah.
Came and you watched a kid just, you know,
go all the way
just
up.
do this, man, and that's what I do this for. Mm-hmm. And it don't have to be the Super Bowl, but when a kid passed the bar, kid becomes an engineer. Mm-hmm. It's the same. You celebrate just like Super Bowl because that kid has made it.
You know he did. He did something successful and it just become another kid out there somewhere.
So I'm waiting for my Battery Creek guy to get ready.
Hey, somebody will do something for you that'll make you feel right.
They ain't got no choice because that's how we do it.
you get it right. So what do you think about Cleveland, man? You think Cleveland gonna do something this year?
Let me tell you something. You got 2 of the top 5 picks. You better do something. Mm-hmm. I mean, and I know they done had first round picks. They done had this. I really think. You know what? I think this might be the year they make the playoffs. Mm-hmm. And that just would be huge right there. I said they would squeeze. I think they can touch a wild card. I think if somewhere a 7-9, if it's one of those seasons where everybody's not winning and like a wild card can be 7-9 or 8-8, mm-hmm. I think they might be able to touch that. You know, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, you ain't looking for no spectacular 12-3. But you know, but you know, first of all, they got to change. Right now, Cleveland don't know how to win. Right. You know, and that's kind of related to Battery Creek situation. They really didn't know how to win. Mm-hmm. You know, and you got to hate losing more than you like winning. Right. You know, and that's one of the things with the kids. I mean, winning becomes contagious. Right. You know, and that's where they at. They in that transition to learn how to win. Right. Because if you watch last year, they've been up on some teams. Mm-hmm. They couldn't hold it. They had a couple tight games. And my thing was like this, and I feel like there's some teams that I played on that, you know, like I said, when I was in school, like I said, we had that 1-9 season or whatever. And I hated it. And even now I'm playing on the team I play now, it's like a lot of guys come out and they just go through the motions. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, you never know when your game could be. I mean, we had a couple miscues. We had a couple games that was 6-0. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it drives me insane that it's a 6-0 game we lost. It's like one play, and I'm like something offensively, defensively, because something can be done to just not have it that way, and it drives me crazy. Some people are like, oh well, all right, I'm going home. Mm-hmm. Like they just cool with it. They just going through the motions of it. It drives me crazy. Yeah.
and then it flipped because we were playing one of the number one teams in the league going in, and we were, I think it was like 24-12 going into halftime. So everybody was excited, and it's something that, I was trying to instill, stretching, a little bit of organized, hey, let's get together, let's stretch, hey, pregame activity, let's do walkthroughs, trying to put that in, and nobody really was like paying, everybody goofing around, nobody really not paying attention. So I kind of, I'm putting my effort in. I'm like, you know what, I'm not getting paid for this. I'm out here, I'm trying to do the best I'm doing, do what I can do, you know what I'm saying? So, I just kind of let it go. But now we're in this game, you 24-12, halftime comes, it's about to be over. Hey, yo, let's stretch, let's get together. Now everybody's hyped. Now everybody's ready to do everything. I'm like, if y'all wait till now, we're playing one of the number one teams in the league, and because the score happens to be 21-12 at the time, now y'all excited. Y'all like, we got a chance, we can knock them off. But now we're playing a team that's on it. But where was this energy? If we had the same energy earlier in the season, when we're playing teams that, are closer to our level, so to speak, anything could have happened. We could have had like 3 games on our schedule that we could have, at least I know for sure that we would have won if we would have had the same energy coming out that we had in this game. It just happened by coincidence that it seemed like we were in it, and so they just they were excited for it. And I did all the scouting I could. I watched film enough to know that, hey, they passing to this side, they running to this side when they do this XYZ formation. And I realized I'm doing a scouting report, and then now I'm out there playing. So now I'm playing linebacker and I'm scouting. I'm looking around, and I'm like, wait, y'all missing some players. They didn't even bring all their players. You know what I'm saying? And so that's bad, and that tells you what they thought of us. So I feel bad about that, and and I want to tell the guys that they were content with, yo, it's 24-12, we got a chance to win this, and even if we would have won it, I went break to them like, yo, they didn't bring all their guys, right? Like they felt like they could handle this game, you know what I'm saying, without doing it, and they did, you know what I'm saying. It's a crazy thing, man. It's a crazy place, man. Full of sports. It's wild. But I appreciate you for coming by. You know what I'm saying? It was wonderful to have you. Nice to meet you. I definitely think I'm off Friday. I think I'll definitely be at the game.
Come on down, man. It's like I tell my kids, get ready for a battle. I mean, and I'll be honest with you, man. They have. Yeah, I really feel that they have something to prove. Like you said, what number they are?
Who? 10. 10.
That's fine, man. I like I said, we're gonna do what we do, and that's all I can tell you. We're gonna do what we do, and my job is to put a product on the field, and it's gonna be a product on the field, and we're gonna do what we do. And Branch, hey. It is what it is.
Hey, I feel like you're going to do a good job, talking to. I feel like you really minded, and like you're teaching the kids more than, going with the motions.
That's the biggest thing I found out. And I mean, is that these kids, and you know what, when I was coming here, it's like, man, you sure? You sure that, these kids are so disrespectful, no. These kids want structure. They want to learn. See, the biggest thing is these kids are put in situations to go make a play. Not how to make a play.
Right.
Not why you do this. Go make a play because they were athletes.
Right.
Just go make a play.
Just do something.
Do something.
Right.
Come on, man.
Yeah, and like I said, and when I said, like, and the reason why so far, like, why I did more listening, try to do more listening and talking to you when you were speaking, outside of the fact that it's an interview, but is that while I'm listening to you, I'm hearing your knowledge come off you. And I think one of the things, and like I said, when he put that challenge on me to try to coordinate a defense, I was doing all my learning then. You know what I'm saying? But the problem with that is that coming out of high school, I didn't have that knowledge. I didn't have a big knowledge of what to do.
Y'all had horses, and I don't, like I said, I don't down nobody and anything, but I think because you right around 212, 211,
right?
Yeah, man. That's when I had some horses, and then the bottom line is just that a kid, I don't believe in just telling a kid to do something. I want the kid to take ownership of what he's doing, make it tangible so they understand why we doing it. Like I talked to my quarterback today, this is why we do this. because they doing this.
Mm-hmm.
This is what you see. Now, by you understanding this, you process real quick
Mm-hmm.
because you know what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have an idea, you're going to sit back in that pocket and dance
Right.
because you don't know what you're looking for. And that's the biggest thing. And these kids have done pretty much everything I asked them to do besides breaking, some of them just, for as got to work. And then they got to work, and I understand that.
Right.
And I try to work with them all I can because that's just a situation that, unfortunately,
yeah, some kids
that's real.
Yeah.
That's just real. I mean, I went at other places. I would have practice twice. I had weightlifting twice a day.
Mm-hmm.
So kids that couldn't make it that morning
can make it that night.
They make it that evening. And King Street, same way. I was down in King Street. I had kids that got on the bus because there's no jobs in Williamsburg County. They go to the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Just like a lot of people went to Hilton
King
Head.
Street is a small town, man.
Yeah, I mean, and they went to the beach to work. There was no jobs in Williamsburg County.
Mm-hmm.
They used to take 12 buses a day that ran to Myrtle Beach.
You would think they would start putting something there to kind of change the community.
That's just how it was. So I know kids have to work, and that's just that's just how it is. So you got to have it built in for them to do that because those kids go and work and then still try to practice. That's a certain kind of commitment.
Mm-hmm.
That's
it's tiring.
Yeah, that's a certain kind of commitment. So you can't just dismiss that.
Mm-hmm.
You got to learn how to be flexible. But now it's a time where, hey, look, you got to make a decision also, and you try to build up to that time. Like I told my kids last year, I was more of a chameleon coach, and what that means was I tried to blend in. I didn't want to really rock the boat. I was just got to kind of settle down and get to know the parents, get to know the kids. I said, this year it's on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm me, because guess what? It's time to roll.
Yeah.
I got to do what I do. Mm-hmm. I done blend in now.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
You got to stand out. Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'll be there. So Friday, August 17th, at Well Branch, 7 o'clock?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. I'd have had y'all there early. But Friday, August 17th, 7 o'clock at Well Branch, Battery Creek. This is going down. Thank you, Coach Wilson, for stopping by.
All right. Thank you, buddy.
All right. No problem.
All right.